Hello, ingenious sewing professionals. Um, this quick video is in response to Michelle's post earlier today, which was kind of a response to the question, do you sometimes get sucked into the online tech rabbit hole? And Michelle was saying that after 2 years, she's thinking she's gonna shut down her website because the only people ever visiting those websites are people that she sends there from Facebook, and people end up buying through Facebook anyway. Now, my first reaction was, oh, well, okay, I'm geeky, right? So, but first thing first, there is no right or wrong answer. So, Michelle, I'm not saying you shouldn't shut down your website. There are just a couple of things that I would love you to consider before you make that decision, right? And because the reason that my reaction was like this was like, I've done a video about this earlier and I put the link in the comments, and it was called Don't Build Your House in Somebody Else's Backyard, right? And the question to ask yourself is, what would you do if Facebook shut down your account tomorrow? And that's not a rhetorical question. That's not out of the whatever. Actually, a friend of mine had it happen a couple of months ago. All of a sudden, I get this message on Facebook Messenger, which supposedly came from her telling me that I had won something and it was some sort of scam thing. So her account got hacked some way. And in the end, she actually had quite a bit of trouble to convince Facebook that it wasn't her scamming people. And so basically, the idea that your Facebook account can disappear tomorrow isn't all that ridiculous, right? So if that, if you're planning on having Facebook your only way to communicate with your audience and with your clients, then the question is, what would you do, right? So, and a website is one answer. Now, another option could be a mailing list, right? Get clients, get people who make inquiries, find a way of getting people to give you their email address so that you have a way of contacting them should your Facebook account, you know, or should Facebook change the rules so that, whatever organic traffic or they can change the rules on you and they can shut you down. That is really the thing to consider. I got a dog food. Now, the other part that I want to um, point out is that when most people, like anybody watching, watch yourself before you buy anything. Most of the time, people will Google you, right? And so it'd be interesting in your case to ask your clients whether they have Googled you, right? Whether they Googled you, whether they checked out your website, right? I personally wouldn't think of buying from somebody just through Facebook, right? There is no right or wrong, because like in Spain, it's quite common, that people put something on Facebook and they send a message, and that's how the whole thing goes. And they often don't have a website. I would be like, hell no, who the heck is this? And so unless I know you in some way, if I can't find you online, if I can't find a website, I'd be very hesitant to actually make a purchase. So, and there's a good chance I'm not the only one. So there is, it would make sense to actually ask, because the people who you send to your website and then who come back and buy through Facebook, they may well have checked out your website, right? And seen what's there, and that would have given you the credibility or them the trust to actually make the purchase. So, that's something worth checking out rather than assuming, because I know for sure that my coaching business is entirely online. So I meet everybody either through Facebook or LinkedIn, basically, right? And there's literally no conversation I have with somebody that doesn't go somehow along the lines, oh, you know, I had a look at your website and I saw this. Or I had a look at your website, I really like the way you structured it. Like literally everybody mentions in some form that they did have a look at the website, right? Even if I come recommended in some way, even if they had their, you know, some post, some video had caught their attention, there's always that second step, you know, Google. What else is there, you know? So that's something to also keep in mind. And so before you shut it down, make sure that it really doesn't, or if you take it off, don't delete it altogether, and see whether your sort of, you know, your client, whether that keeps up or whether that drops off, right? So that's basically the other thing. Now the other question is, what is it that takes up so much work on the website? Say in your case, if you say it isn't really, I can't really see anything that would be a huge time waster in that sense, right? So because the information you want there is, okay, what is it you're offering? You know, a bit of your personal story. How did you get to do the things you're doing? And how does this work? So if I wanted one of those bags, what do I need to do? So that is a space where you can answer those questions that then actually saves you time, because people won't have to send you messages and you won't have to answer the same shit over and over again. So from that point of view, if you had that website as a place where people can find out everything they need to know in order to make a decision, whether then to buy from you via Facebook or wherever, you know, that makes sense. So, and that wouldn't really cost a lot of work. So if you say, well, you don't literally sell online, you know, you don't have like an online shop thing, well, that's fair enough, you know. But to say, well, okay, who are you, what are you offering, how does this whole process work? So if I wanted to send you one of those jackets and want you to make a bag, how would that work, right? So that would make sense to have somewhere, so that you don't have to keep answering the same questions over and over, which would probably take up a lot more time than having that website there. So that's just a couple of things to consider. I would love to hear your take on it. And so yeah, if anybody else is doubting whether it would make sense to have a website or not, as always, do what makes sense to you. And yeah, you know, share your take on things, and let us know. And I'll speak to you again soon.